Hi, and thanks for your interest in joining this Youth Hope Month webinar today. I'm Beth Richmond, and I'm going to help you understand how to use media relations to raise awareness and educate audiences. As you probably know, November is recognized as Youth Homelessness Outreach, Prevention, and Education Month, or Youth Hope Month. And throughout the month, the National Runaway Safeline, with support from the Family and Youth Services Bureau, as well as hundreds of partners across the country. And these are service providers, law enforcement, public libraries, all different kinds of organizations and individuals that are working together to bring greater attention and awareness to youth homelessness. One way that we all do that is through media relations. It's really an effective tactic to raise awareness and educate people about youth homelessness and the services that are available to young people nationwide. But why pursue media coverage? Why does it matter? Well, media provides a third-party credibility and increases visibility. When you secure media coverage, you're increasing awareness of your organization, your mission, your work, your impact. You are establishing your organization as an authority and a trusted resource, and you're driving support from your target audience, which is particularly important if you're trying to promote an event or recruit volunteers. Media coverage can help do all of that. And today, media ranges from TV newscasts to local newspapers and national newspapers, radio stations, social media pages, podcasts, online outlets, and really so much more. Lots of different vehicles to get the word out. How do you get the word out? It's important to really clearly define your story. And first, you want to make certain that what you are pitching to media is news. It is unique and noteworthy. You'll want to consider why the public should care about what it is you're telling them. And you're going to want to make sure that you convey to journalists why they should report this now. And fortunately, Youth Hope Month provides that timely, relevant hook. It kind of prevents your story pitch from being filed away for future consideration. And as you're defining your story, consider how you might leverage a human interest angle, whether that's through stories of people you've served, or volunteers or staff. Where's the human interest angle? You're going to want to localize your story and also show how your work impacts young people, families, and the community. It's very important you consider the timing of your pitch, and you're going to want to begin outreach in October and continue through November. In October, you might generate some preview stories or feature articles. And then throughout early and mid-November, you're going to want to pitch events and initiatives and really even just general stories about Youth Hope Month. At the very end of the month, you can send journalists a report on the impact of all that you've done in November. You might share a wrap-up report and highlight what's next. All of that's a great way to sort of stay on their radar and build the relationship with journalists. Definitely want to avoid times when it's difficult to break through the clutter. That might be elections at the beginning of November, Thanksgiving at the end of November. Of course, if you're doing any sort of event for youth tied to Thanksgiving, you don't have to be concerned about that conflict. And then consider your media target's deadline. If you're pitching a weekly newspaper, they might file their stories pretty far in advance. So pitch them, maybe a week or two out. A daily paper, they're looking at story pitches a little closer to their deadline, so you don't need as much lead time. And in terms of some of the pitching basics, We suggest that you identify your audience and where they get their news, and then create a media list so that you can reach the right people at the right outlets. You can do all of this research online through AI or Google searches. Look into the media outlets in your area, find out who's covering topics that are relevant to your pitch. Look into how they're sharing these stories, and maybe even reference that when you do reach out to them. You're going to want to develop the right materials. A press release is a great tool, even just a simple pitch letter that's very straightforward. A media advisory is a great tool when promoting an event. It just gives the who, what, where, when, and why. And we do offer template materials at 1-800-RUNAWAY.org/hope. When you're ready to write your emails, keep them short and compelling, and also personalize these. Reporters get hundreds of emails, and if you show that you know about what they cover and maybe even reference some of that and compliment some of that, they appreciate it and are probably more likely to take notice of what you're pitching. You'll want to lead with critical information and, again, reinforce why it's important that they cover this in November. Offer interviews with spokespeople and make sure those spokespeople are available for any interviews that you line up, that they're comfortable speaking with journalists, and that they have firsthand experience or an expertise on the topic. You can also offer assets like photos and video. Reporters are very, very busy, so whatever you can do to make their job a little bit easier is very appreciated. And now, once you've drafted your emails, you got to consider the subject line, which needs to be short and clear. The subject line really is what's going to get a journalist to open your email among the hundreds that they receive. So make it concise, make it intriguing, make it obvious as to what it is, the story, as to what the story is. And then once you do secure some interest, be sure to follow up, be helpful and responsive, of course. Again, whatever you can do to make a journalist's job a little bit easier is very appreciated. So once you've secured coverage, whether that's an online story or a podcast interview, you're going to want to leverage that placement and really extend the reach and amplify the reach. As I said, the media coverage enhances your credibility. So spread the word and show others that you've really received that sort of credibility. You can post on social media and, of course, tag reporters or outlets. They appreciate that. You can add the media coverage to your website if you have a media or news page. Maybe consider including it, highlighting it in an upcoming newsletter. You can also use some of your secured media coverage in pitch letters. Again, that just reinforces your authority and your expertise. And if you do secure an interview for a spokesperson, you may want to share some of the media coverage, particularly TV or radio coverage, with a journalist, just to demonstrate how your spokesperson conducts himself during an interview, what their experience is and their style, really how they speak about the topic. We've provided several links to past coverage that was secured by Youth Hope Month partners last year, and it will give you some good insights to how stories are told, how organizations have pitched their stories during Youth Hope Month. So we encourage you to check out these links. And as you're working on your media strategy and your materials and your research, if you have any questions, please do reach out. You can contact me, and my contact information is listed here, I am happy to help. So I wish you all good luck with your media relations efforts and look forward to seeing all that you do.